Hello YouTube, my name is Big Boy Snatch on TV, aka Wakanda Snatch One, because I got playing going around. This is my WWE Raw Review highlights, so if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys please full watch the video from all the way from the beginning all the way towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content where I give you guys a full breakdown of my review and not the half my review. Go check out my WWE Evolution review and highlights. Go check out my AEW All In Texas review and highlights on the channel. Without further ado, let's get started. Now, WWE Raw was a good show for what it was, and I give that show an 8 out of 10. WWE Raw was live from Birmingham, Alabama Legacy Arena at the BJCCC. Commentary tonight were Michael Cole and Corey Graves. So Raw was live from Birmingham, Alabama Legacy Arena at the BJCC. Alright, then now forever together. The WWE video leads us into the show. Video package. Highlights from WWE Saturday Night's main event and WWE Evolution. Some of the significant events that occurred were the retirement of Goldberg and Naomi cashing in her Money in the Bank briefcase to defeat Io Sky and win the Women's World Champion. I was so happy that Naomi won the Women's World Champion. And that's all I gotta say, because Naomi's heel run has been phenomenal and it has been good. So that's all I gotta say. Naomi's heel run has been phenomenal. So I'm happy for Naomi. Alright, let me continue. We see a shot of MetLife Stadium. In 19 nights, it will host the first ever 2-night SummerSlam. Pre-show arrivals. A smiling world champion Gunther is showing arriving at the arena. Main event Jey Uso is in the building, as is CM Punk. Braun Breaker, Big Bronson Reed, and a somber Paul Heyman are shown arriving without Seth Rollins. The WWE drone flies us into the Legacy Arena. Women's World Champion Naomi addresses her Money in the Bank cash-in. This was a good segment by Naomi. Women's World Champion heads to the ring. She is fired up. Naomi cashed in her Money in the Bank briefcase in the middle of a classic match between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky last night at Evolution. The crowd chants, "You deserve it." Naomi says she doesn't want to hear that. They were feeling the glow, but they're feeling her now. They're sitting there acting like they knew was coming. They thought she would cash in on Tiffany Stratton, but no one knows her next move until she makes it. That's why she's standing here as the new Women's World Champion. She's so done with the foolishness going on SmackDown. Naomi tells Bianca Belair to look at this title. She didn't betray Bianca Belair. She outgrew her. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill didn't want her to succeed. They wanted her to be a flunky as long as it was okay with them. Naomi asks, "Who's got the upper hand now?" You know what? Naomi crackles. Jade Cargill may have gotten her lick back at Evolution, but Naomi made history. She made a new on Raw. But all these raggedy heifers in the locker room are advised to proceed with caution. This is my brutality. A furious Rhea Ripley comes out to the stage. Rhea Ripley walks down to the ring and stares at Naomi. As she gets in the ring, Naomi looks unpressed. Naomi is sporting a cut on the bridge of her nose from her match with Jade Cargill last night. A mommy chant picks up. Rhea Ripley says there's one thing Naomi should know about her. She is not cautious. Rhea Ripley is reckless and pissed. She walks into Evolution with two goals: to finally defeat Io Sky and reclaim the Women's World Champion. All because of Naomi. She still has those two goals. Naomi has made it onto her list. So you already know at SummerSlam that Naomi's going to retain the Women's World Championship at SummerSlam. And I'm calling it straight down the middle. Alright, let's move on. Let me take a sip of my drink. Alright, let me continue. Io Sky music hits and the former Women's World Champion heads to the ring. And Io Sky chant picks up. Io Sky tells Rhea Ripley with respect to get in line. She walked into Evolution as a Women's World Champion, so she'll get her title back from Naomi. Naomi says she doesn't understand what Io Sky just said. but they can't get their untitled you know what out of her face into the back of the line. Rhea Ripley steps up to Naomi. Raw General Manager Adam Pearce walks out to the stage before this gets out of hand. He wants them to take a breath. Take a breathe. Or take a breath, I'm sorry. He has something to say to all three of them. First, he congratulates Naomi on winning the title and welcomes her to Monday Night Raw last night. Welcomes her to Monday Night Raw. I'm sorry. Last night she had the biggest moment of her professional career. That moment came at the expense of Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, but he has to say it. Their match at Evolution was absolute magic. The crowd gives them a huge ovation. In 3 weeks, they're at SummerSlam. It will be the first two-night SummerSlam in WWE history. That means it's bigger than ever. The attractions, box office, and magic needs to be bigger. They need to blow the probable roof off MetLife Stadium. It will be Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky versus Naomi for the Women's World Championship. They will make magic at SummerSlam. No holds. Naomi holds the title up and stares at her opponent. So it's going to be a triple threat match at SummerSlam, which is Naomi going to retain the Women's World Championship at SummerSlam. Simple segment with Naomi. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky to set up the triple threat match for SummerSlam. It's the first ever two-night SummerSlam. In case you haven't heard, and we don't have a ton booked for it yet, expect a tons to start happening quickly. Hashtag WWE Raw. Tonight on Raw, Nikki Bella will battle Chelsea Green. This will be Nikki Bella's first singles match in 7 years. We'll also see Lara Kira battle Bayley in a 2 out of 3 falls match. The winner will face Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam. The Judgment Day Clubhouse. Finn Balor is holding all the titles accompanied by the Judgment Day. Finn Balor hands Dirty Dominic Mysterio his Intercontinental Championship and says he was keeping it warm for him. Dominic Mysterio says he hasn't been able to relax because AJ Styles has been stalking him. Finn Balor says as long as Dominic Mysterio has his doctors know, he's untouchable. Finn Balor says they need to give their full support to the biggest winners from the weekend. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez gives all the credit to Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel Rodriguez says Roxanne Perez stepped up like she said. Finn Balor says he's heard about the Kabuki Warriors is worried. He tells Dominic Mysterio to accompany them to the ring tonight. Dominic Mysterio asks why. He has to. Finn Balor says it's time to show the world their strength. They also need to keep the titles for Liv Morgan. Finn Balor then hands the tag titles to JD Madonna. Finn Balor looks at a picture of Liv Morgan, smiles, and sarcastically says for Liv Morgan. You know when Liv Morgan comes back for her injury, Liv Morgan's going to be pissed off. That's all I got to say. But I wish Liv Morgan a speedy recovery. In the arena, the Kabuki Warriors heads to the ring. They'll take on WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez in a non-title match next. Alright, let's move on. So we go to commercial break. A non-title tag team match. The Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane versus the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, the Judgment Day, Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez, accompanied by WWE Intercontinental Champion Dirty Dominic Mysterio. And this tag team match right here, this was a decent tag team match, and that's all I gotta say. Raquel Rodriguez will start the match against Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane quickly applies a waistlock before avoiding a back elbow. Kairi Sane hits the ropes and goes for a satellite DDT, but Raquel Rodriguez shoves her off and hits a shoulder tackle. Asuka tags in and grabs the arm, but Raquel Rodriguez shoves her away. Asuka grabs the arm again, but Raquel Rodriguez lifts her. Asuka counters with a sleeper hold. Raquel Rodriguez quickly backs her into the corner, and Roxanne Perez tags in. Roxanne Perez hits the ropes and hits a head scissor into a side leg sweep for a 2 count. Roxanne Perez stands Asuka up and slaps her in the face. Asuka nods her head before getting fired up. Asuka punches and kicks away at Roxanne Perez before kicking her in the face a few times. Kairi Sane tags back in. The Kabuki Warriors hit a double team takedown slash dropkick combo for a 1 count. Kairi Sane throws Roxanne Perez into the corner and chomps the chest. Kairi Sane hits a running basement forearm to Roxanne Perez for a 2 count. WWE Intercontinental Champion Dirty Dominic Mysterio shadows around ringside. Roxanne Perez drops Kairi Sane on the apron. Kairi Sane tries for a sunset flip, but Roxanne Perez stomps her. Raquel Rodriguez tags in, but Kairi Sane quickly catches her with an armbar. Roxanne Perez runs in, but Asuka locks her in an armbar. Raquel Rodriguez powers Kairi Sane up and powerbombs her onto Asuka. Kairi Sane won't let go, so Raquel Rodriguez slams her into the ropes. Alright. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Kairi Sane hits a modified stunner on Raquel Rodriguez. Roxanne Perez quickly tags in, so Kairi Sane hits an Isaguri. Asuka tags in and kicks away at Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez reverses a whip into the ropes, so Asuka hits Raquel Rodriguez with a hip attack. Asuka then takes Roxanne Perez down. Asuka kicks Roxanne Perez in the corner before hitting Raquel Rodriguez with a super kick. Asuka hits a knee to Roxanne Perez before connected with a shiny whistle for a 2 count. Asuka winches the arm and tags Kairi Sane in. Asuka holds Roxanne Perez, but Roxanne Perez fights out. Asuka still has her, and Kairi Sane hits a double axe handle 1-2. Raquel Rodriguez breaks it up. Asuka pulls the top rope down to get Raquel Rodriguez out of the ring. Asuka tags in. Roxanne Perez reverses a whip to the corner. Asuka sidesteps her, and Kairi Sane tags in. The Kabuki Warriors hit a double arm reverse DDT slash insane elbow combo. Dominic Mysterio is distracting the referee, so the count is delayed. 1-2. Raquel Rodriguez pulls Kairi Sane out of the ring and attack her. Asuka fights Raquel Rodriguez and sends her into the ring post. Asuka tags in and goes to the top rope for a missile drop kick on Roxanne Perez. Asuka hits a nasty strike combo followed by a German suplex. Dominic Mysterio gets on her apron again, and Asuka eliminates him with a backhand. Roxanne Perez rolls Asuka up, and Dirty Dominic Mysterio pushes her, and Raquel Rodriguez pushes against her backside for leverage. Alright. The winner by pinfall, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. This was a decent tag team match for what it was. But why didn't AJ come out doing this match? AJ Styles should have come out doing this match. But it is what it is. It says the Kabuki Warriors are infuriated. Alright, decent tag team match with the Judgment Day going over the Kabuki Warriors. I think the biggest surprise for me is that I always expect the champions to lose in non-title matches like this, but they won. Non-world champions and non-title matches have to be nearly 90% losers. Okay, let's move on. Alright, backstage interview. Jackie Redmond is with WWE Hall of Famer Paul Heyman, who is holding Seth Rollins' Money in the Bank briefcase. Braun Breaker and Big Bronson Reed. Jackie Redmond mentions that Seth Rollins is in Birmingham to get his injured knee reevaluated. Does Paul Heyman have an update? Paul Heyman says he has no information. It's too soon. Seth Rollins has until next June to cash in Money in the Bank briefcase. Until he catches into that deadline, Seth Rollins' health is not a relevant subject. What is a relevant subject is that Braun Breaker will run the gauntlet. Tonight, Braun Breaker will emerge as the number 1 contender and punch his ticket to SummerSlam. Braun Breaker will go on to SummerSlam and defeat Gunther to become the next World Heavyweight Champion of the world. Alright, so let's move on. Alright. Video package. George Kittle of the San Francisco 49ers attacked The Miz at golf outing. Backstage interview. Jackie Redmond asked Lyra Kara about her match against Bayley. Lyra Kara says this match will put an end to Bayley talk and get her back to Becky Lynch. After the match, Jackie Redmond can ask about her upcoming SummerSlam match. Bayley walks out. Whoever lose this match will go to the back of the line. Lyra Kira says it's always about Bayley. Bayley says what's best for Lyra Kira is to stay the out of her way. Alright, let's move on. So we get a 2 out of 3 falls match. Bayley versus Lyra Kira. This match, this 2 out of 3 fall match, this match was fantastic. They lock up and Lyra Kira takes her down with the headlock. Bayley fights up and whips her off, but Lyra Kira quickly takes her down with a front face lock. Bayley fights up and pushes her off again, but Lyra Kira grabs her head. Bayley backs her into the corner and puts her on the top ropes before patting her on the head. Lyra Kira is not happy. Lyra Kira hits a pair of arm drags before leapfrogging her and sending her out of the ring. Bayley is frustrated. Bayley gets in the ring, but Lyra Kira ducks a clothesline and hits a hip toss. Lyra Kira pats her on the head, so Bayley slaps her in the face and rolls her up to win the first fall. Bayley leads the series 1 to Lyra Kira 0. Alright, so we go to commercial break. Back from the break, Lyra Kira and Bayley are holding each other by the arm and exchanging strikes. Lyra Kira connects with a step up ensuguri, followed by a pair of clotheslines, some kicks to the face. Lyra Kira draws her with a spin kick and attempts a tornado DDT, but Bayley slings her away. Bayley charges, but Lyra Kira moves and drop kicks her into the corner. Lyra Kira hits a tornado DDT followed by a fisherman suplex for a 2 count. Lyra Kira gets herself fired up and starts to stomp Bayley in the corner. Bayley fights back and whips Lyra Kira hard into the corner. Lyra Kira immediately collapses in pain. Bayley smiles as she sees the opening. Bayley attacks the back and picks up a near fall. Bayley whips her hard into the corner again, and Lyra Kira falls to her knees. Bayley sweeps the feet, but Lyra Kira kicks her away. Bayley rolls out of the ring. Lyra Kira holds her back as she hits the ropes and hits a wrecking ball drop kick. Lyra Kira goes to the apron and pulls Bayley up by the hair. Bayley fights back and hits a high back suplex on the apron. Bayley gets in the ring and hits a swinging sidewalk slam. 1-2. Lyra Kira kicks out. Bayley soon attempts a La Magistral, but Lyra Kira counters and sits down on Bayley's shoulder to pick up the victory. The series is tied. Bayley won. Lyra Kira won. This is a sudden death match. Bayley is furious. Lyra Kira is struggling to get her feet. Bayley angrily kicks her in the face and covers for a 2 count. So we go to commercial break. Back from the break, Lyra Kira hits a dragon screw to Bayley. Bayley quickly sends her to the apron and snaps her off the second rope. Lyra Kira holds her up, but Bayley rolls through and knees her in the mouth. Bayley limps to Lyra Kira and goes for a whip, but Lyra Kira stops it. Lyra Kira elbows out of Bayley to belly, and goes for a monkey flip. Bayley holds her up and turns her in onto the ropes. Lyra Kira knocks Bayley away and jumps, but Bayley counters with Bayley to belly. 1-2. Lyra Kira barely kicks out. Alright. The crowd chants, "This is awesome." Bayley heads to the top rope, but Lyra Kira sweeps the feet. Lyra Kira climbs to the second rope and goes for a superplex, but Bayley fights her off. Lyra Kira gets up and attacks Bayley before hitting a sit-out slam off the top rope. Lyra Kira hits a nasty gut-wrench sit-out powerbomb that nearly lands Bayley on her head for a near fall. Lyra Kira holds her head in frustration. Lyra Kira grabs Bayley's leg, but Bayley kicks her away. Lyra Kira puts Bayley on the apron, but Bayley pulls her out with her. Bayley goes for a back suplex, but Lyra Kira holds the ropes. Lyra Kira grabs the leg and uppercuts the knee joint. Lyra Kira twists it around the middle rope and connects with a fisherman suplex on the apron. Bayley falls to the floor. Lyra Kira goes to grab her. but Bailey kicks her away and gets in the ring. Alright. Lyra Kira soon gets in the ring. Bailey rolls her up for a 2 count. Lyra Kira connects with a jackknife cover, but Bailey kicks out. Bailey holds her knee in pain. Bailey charges, but Lyra Kira twists through the ropes to avoid her. Bailey knocks her to the floor and slaps her leg. Bailey goes to hit a sliding drop kick through the corner, but Lyra Kira catches her. Bailey kicks her away and hits a sunset flip into the steps. Lyra Kira head hits the steel steps hard. Bailey goes to the top rope and connects with a diving elbow drop to Lyra Kira bad back. 1-2, Lyra Kira kicks out. Bailey immediately transitions into a crossface and pulls back as hard as she can. Lyra Kira screams in pain and crawls at the bottom rope. Bailey kicks the bottom rope away and rolls her back, but Lyra Kira rolls out and hits Nightwing. 1, 2, 3. The winner by pinfall, Lyra Kira 2 and Bailey 1 point. Alright, Lyra Kira is going to SummerSlam and will challenge the man Becky Lynch for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion. Lyra Kira celebrates in the ring as a devastated and dejected Bailey sits at ringside. WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion, the man Becky Lynch, heads to the ring and gets in Lyra Kira's face, holding up her championship. Alright, that was a good match between Bailey and Lyra Kira. This match was good and physical at the same time, but I believe that that Becky Lynch is going to retain at SummerSlam, but it is what it is. Let's move on. It says a really good match with Lyra Kira and Bailey. I usually hate 2 out of 3 fall matches before the first 2. Falls feels like a waste and hurt the flow. However, that third fall was really well done. Decisive victory for Lyra Kira. I wonder if Bailey is going heel. I think Bailey's going to turn heel at SummerSlam. I'm not for sure, but we have to see what happens. If Bailey does turn heel, it's going to start a feud against Lyra Kira. That's all I gotta say. All right, let me take a sip of my water. All right. Video package. Stephanie Mercury emerges victorious in the Women's Battle Royal at WWE Evolution, which is Stephanie Mercury well deserved. So congratulations to Stephanie Mercury winning the Women's Battle Royal at WWE Revolution. That was amazing. But Stephanie Mercury. And Stephanie Mercury, I'm a big fan of Stephanie Mercury. That's all I gotta say. Alright, let me continue. Backstage interview. Jackie Redmond is backstage with Stephanie Mercury. Stephanie Mercury says she came to WWE to become a champion. In Paris, she would become a champion. Jackie Redmond says Stephanie Mercury will compete for the Women's World Championship at WWE Clash in Paris. Chelsea Green walks up with the Secret Herbers. Chelsea Green walks up and says she should represent WWE in Paris. According to Chelsea Green, La Primavera means loser. Chelsea Green means winner. Lyra Kira tells her to take her best shot. Chelsea Green says she'd love to, but she's facing a WWE Hall of Famer for now. Stephanie Kira can look, but she can't touch. Alright. In the arena, WWE Hall of Famer Nikki Bella heads to the ring for the first time in nearly 7 years. She have a match on Raw. She'll battle Chelsea Green next. Alright. So we go to commercial break. This Friday on SmackDown, undisputed WWE Champion John Cena and American Nightmare Cody Rhodes will be under one roof. Video package. Karen Cross says your favorite bad guy are here to save the day. Where is Sami Zayn? He's hurt. Scarlett says Sami Zayn is a liar. Karen Cross thinks so too. All this talk about who is a coward falls flat. Sami Zayn is nowhere to be seen. Karen Cross says, you know what? Karen Cross says he gave Sami Zayn an ultimatum he didn't like and has folded. Karen Cross tells Sami Zayn to stay home and not come back to work until he's ready to say that Karen Cross told the truth. Alright. I know when Sami Zayn comes back, Sami Zayn is gonna get his get back against Karrion Kross. I can already tell. So Sami Zayn is going to get his get back when he come. Sami Zayn is going to get his get back against Karrion Kross when he comes back. All right, let's continue. All right. So we get the next match: Nikki Bella versus Chelsea Green, accompanied by the Secret Herbers, Alba Fire, and Piper Niven. And this match right here, this was, this was a solid match for what it was. All right. The bell rings and they lock up. Nikki Bella pushes her off and smiles. They lock up again, and Nikki Bella powers her into the ropes before giving a clean break. They lock up a third time, and Nikki Bella whips her away and rolls her up for a 1 count. Nikki Bella takes her down, so Chelsea Green slaps her in the face. Nikki Bella is furious and chases her. And chases her to the corner. Chelsea Green gets a cheap shot in and clubs the back. Chelsea Green sends Nikki Bella into the ropes, but Nikki Bella hits a head scissors takeover. Nikki Bella slaps Chelsea Green and mocks the salute. Nikki Bella connects with a snap suplex, but Chelsea Green rolls out of the ring to recover. With the Secret Herbers, Piper Niven and Alba Fire steps between Nikki Bella and Chelsea Green to keep Nikki Bella back. You should have banned Alba Fire and Piper Niven at ringside. Alright, let's move on. They get in the ring, and Chelsea Green sends Nikki Bella to the corner. Nikki Bella elbows her and back and climbs to the middle rope. Chelsea Green sweeps the feet and hits a backstabber off the ropes. Nikki Bella rolls out of the ring and holds her neck. Chelsea Green takes a moment before going outside and driving Nikki Bella head first into the barricade. Chelsea Green gets to her feet in the ring. Chelsea Green gets her into the ring and slams her face first into the mat for a 2 count. Chelsea Green digs her knee into the spine of Nikki Bella and pulls back on her head. Nikki Bella tries to fight back, but Chelsea Green slams her down and applies a weird chin lock. Nikki Bella fights back with an elbow, fights back and elbows out, but Chelsea Green pulls her hair. Nikki Bella then smashes Chelsea Green's face off her knee. Chelsea Green slowly gets up and charges, but Nikki Bella ducks a clothesline and hits a pair of clotheslines. Nikki Bella whips her to the corner and hits a corner clothesline. Nikki Bella goes to the second rope and hits a flying kick to the skull for a near fall. Chelsea Green fights back and hits a neckbreaker for a 2 count. Chelsea Green sets up for a pretty hurt, but Nikki Bella counters into a Bella Buster. Piper Niven gets on the apron to distract the referee. Alba Fire gets on the apron and grabs Nikki Bella, but Nikki Bella slams her into the ring post and knocks Piper Niven off the apron. Chelsea Green grabs Nikki Bella and goes for the pretty hurt. Nikki Bella counters out and tries to lift her, but Chelsea Green elbows out. Nikki Bella hits a nasty rack attack 2.0 for the win. The winner of the match, Nikki Bella. This match was solid. This was a solid match. What it was. Nikki Bella avalanches Bella and throws her into Alba Fire for a super kick. Alba Fire then whips Nikki Bella into Piper Niven for a Bossman Slam. The Secret Herbers pulls Chelsea Green up, but Stephanie Mercury runs down. Stephanie Mercury attacks Alba Fire and gets her in the ring to a drop kick. Piper Niven. Alba Fire runs in, but Stephanie Mercury drops her with a double underhook facebuster. Stephanie Mercury then embraces Nikki Bella. Alright. It says Nikki Bella looks okay in that match against Chelsea Green, but she started losing a bit at the end. I think she started going for her original rack attack before realizing she needed to turn her around. It led to an awkward moment. It looks like Nikki Bella will be feuding with Chelsea Green. Alright, let's move on. That match itself was a solid but okay match for what it was. So this was an okay solid match for what it was. So backstage segment. Wild John manager Adam Pearce is backstage with the Modern New Day and Grayson Waller. Xavier Woods says they're in the third stage of grief and are ready to bargain. Grayson Waller shows off some two-piece for Adam Pearce. Kobe Kingston says they're real human hair. So when do they get their titles back? Adam Pearce says they don't just get a rematch, but they have an opportunity to compete for a shot next week. Until then, he advised them not to flip their rings before knocking the two-piece over. Alright, let's move on. Adam Pearce walks over to the Judgment Day as they're preparing to leave the building. Adam Pearce says Dirty Dominic Mysterio was moving smoothly out there before. Dominic Mysterio says it was the adrenaline in his soul. Dominic Mysterio produced his doctor's note. Adam Pearce says he's called WWE Medical. Dominic Mysterio will be evaluated if he's still not cleared. Then he hasn't been cleared. If he is cleared, Adam Pearce will immediately make the Intercontinental Championship match against AJ Styles at SummerSlam. The Judgment Day reshores Dominic Mysterio and walks off. Dominic Mysterio turns and we see AJ Styles praying before molding that he has his eyes on Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio prays to God not to let AJ Styles hurt him. So you already know that Dominic Mysterio is going to drop the Intercontinental Championship to AJ Styles at SummerSlam. I can see that happening. Alright, let's move on. Backstage segment. World Heavyweight Champion Gunther is face-to-face with Penta before walking off. We'll hear from Gunther next. So we go to commercial break. Logan Paul and Pulse is joining WWE Podcast lineup. Locker room interview. Jackie Redmond is in the locker room with Rusev. She congratulates Rusev on winning the hard-hitting match against Sheamus. Where does he hope to go from here? Rusev says people call him a god, but maybe he's a saint casting out Snake. Sheamus knows Rusev is better than Sheamus. Walks up and says he's not here to attack him. The Raw General Manager Adam Pearce agrees that Rusev is cheating bastard, so they'll have a rematch. That was an appetizer. Rusev needs to get ready for the main course. Rusev says he's here to dominate gold and not gingers. Alright, the commentaries run down the SummerSlam card so far. Alright, video package. Jelly Roll and Logan Paul got into it at Saturday night's main event, distracting Drew McIntyre and causing him a match against Randy Orton. Jelly Roll will save Randy Orton from Logan Paul, so Drew McIntyre hits the music superstars with a Claymore kick. This Wednesday, Jelly Roll will host Jimmy Kimmel Live and feature Randy Orton as a guest on his show. Alright. So we get World Heavyweight Champion Gunther addresses returning Goldberg and what's next for him. Alright. World Heavyweight Champion Gunther heads to the ring. Gunther says he's in a great mood. This past Saturday, he retired Bill Goldberg. A light Goldberg chant picks up. Gunther says the people here aren't the brightest, but Goldberg isn't here tonight. He's not coming because he kept every promise he made before the match. He bully pushed around, blew up, and choked him out to end the myth of Bill Goldberg. You tap out chant begins to pick up. Alright. Gunther has one question. Who's next for the ring general? We'll have a answer soon, which is CM Punk. In the next moment, he'll take a seat in a nice suit, and 5 of the finest competitors in WWE today will compete for his assuming. It will identify who will be the official challenger for the ring general at SummerSlam. Gunther doesn't care about who's the winner is when the bell rings. They're all the same. Braun Breaker heads to the ring with Paul Heyman behind him. Paul Heyman is carrying Seth Rollins' Money in the Bank briefcase. They get in the ring, and Paul Heyman looks for a handshake. Gunther obliges. Paul Heyman starts to do his usual introduction, but Gunther cuts him off. Gunther says he's not interested in what Paul Heyman has to say, so he's going to leave now. Braun Breaker stands in Gunther's way. Paul Heyman tells him to stick around because it pertains to Gunther. Tonight, Braun Breaker will won the gauntlet, becoming number one contender, and go on to SummerSlam to beat Gunther for the World Heavyweight Champion. Paul Heyman says he knows it's not an easy task because he saw what Gunther did to Goldberg on Saturday night's main event. However, Gunther hasn't been spared until he been spared by Braun Breaker. The next big thing. Braun Breaker is the next big dog. Braun Breaker is the next big dog. This is Braun Breaker's yard. Gunther isn't looking at just another contender. He's a Steiner. Paul Heyman says that means he'll break through every barrier that puts in the front of him. Braun break through the glass ceiling of WWE and break Gunther's at SummerSlam. There's going to be a new World Heavyweight Champion, a long-term one, and his name is Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker steps aside for Gunther to leave. Gunther doesn't look impressed as he walks off. A CM Punk chant fires up. So we get the gauntlet match is next. So we go to commercial break. Alright, so we get the main event of the evening, the number one contenders gauntlet match. Braun Breaker accompanied by Paul Heyman versus Penta. This was a good gauntlet match right here. And that's all I gotta say. That was a really good gauntlet match in my opinion. And yeah, let's get started. The bell rings and Penta starts to clap to get the crowd going. Penta attacks Breaker and stomps away at him in the corner. Penta is fired up before heading back to Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker quickly grabs him and hits a T-bone suplex without leaving his feet. Braun Breaker hits some shoulder thrusts in the corner. Braun Breaker sends him to the ropes, but Penta ducks a clothesline and hits a head scissors takeover. Braun Breaker puts Penta on the apron, but Penta knocks him back. Head to the top rope and hits a diving cross body block for a 2 count. Penta puts Braun Breaker against the ropes and chomps the chest. Braun Breaker hooks a side headlock, so Penta wipes him off. Braun Breaker starts to hit the ropes at a ridiculous speed and runs over Penta with a clothesline. Braun Breaker charges, but Penta pulls the top rope to get him out of the ring. Penta hits a toe con hilo as we go to commercial break. Alright. Commercial break. Back from commercial break, we see Penta lying on the steel steps while Braun Breaker smiles. Something bad happened right before we came back from Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker then pressed Penta over his head and drops him face first on the steps. Braun Breaker gets Penta in the ring and continues to attack. Braun Breaker hits a suplex and covers before rolling off and doing some push-ups. His Uncle Scott was famous for that. Braun Breaker puts Penta on the apron, but Penta fights back with some right hands. Penta snaps his neck off the top rope. Penta gets in the ring, and Braun Breaker drops him with a T-bone suplex for a 2 count. World Heavyweight Champion Gunther is shown watching this match from the suite. Alright. Braun Breaker. It says Braun Breaker applies a weird chin lock before hitting another T-bone suplex. Braun Breaker picks him up and hits the move again. Braun Breaker set up for a spear, but Penta super kicks him and kicks him in the knee. Penta hits a reverse slingshot. Penta kicks him down and hits a handstand slingshot corner drop kick before reverse whip to the corner. But Penta slingshots over him and hits a backstabber on the way down for a 2 count. Gunther looks impressed by what he's seeing. Penta goes to the corner and sides of Braun Breaker, but Penta charges, but Braun Breaker needs him in the face. Braun Breaker lifts Penta, but Penta slides off. Penta super kicks him and goes for a springboard, but Braun Breaker spears him out of midair for elimination. Braun Breaker defeats Penta in a gauntlet match. Alright. Braun Breaker smiles with an evil looking Paul Heyman lurking in the background. Alright, Braun Breaker accompanied by Paul Heyman versus LA Knight. And this match right here, this was a quick match too. LA Knight gets in the ring and starts to exchange punches with Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker needs him in the midsection and sends him to the corner. LA Knight pops out of the corner with a clothesline. LA Knight goes for a suplex, but Braun Breaker blocks it. LA Knight flips through and suplex and hits a neck breaker. LA Knight mocks Braun Breaker and stomps him for a 2 count. LA Knight wrenches the arm and charges, but Braun Breaker sends him out of the ring. LA Knight quickly attacks him at ringside and drives Braun Breaker's shoulder into the ring post. Braun Breaker attacks him as he gets in the ring and presses him, but Braun Breaker's arms is too hurt. LA Knight clotheslines Braun Breaker over the top rope and connects with a massive baseball slide. LA Knight bounces Braun Breaker off the commentary table. Braun Breaker fights back and drives him real spurs into the tables. LA Knight is hurting. Braun Breaker gets him in the ring and attacks the ribs a bit. Alright, so we go to commercial break. We back from the break to see Braun Breaker punching away at LA Knight. Braun Breaker chokes him on the middle rope. LA Knight fights back with some punches before hitting the ropes. Braun Breaker turns him inside out with a kitchen sink knee to the midsection for a 2 count. Braun Breaker applies a wrist lock as LA Knight is seated on the canvas. LA Knight fights up and elbows Braun Breaker in the ear a few times. LA Knight hits the ropes and they take each other down with a double clothesline. The crowd chants, "This is awesome." LA Knight starts to hit some stinging left jabs, followed by a clothesline. LA Knight sends him sternum first into the corner and hits LA Knight with a backbreaker. With the neck breaker before following up with a DDT. LA Knight goes to the middle rope, does his stunt, and does a double jump, diving elbow drop for a near fall. LA Knight goes for a blunt for trauma, but Braun Breaker pushes him off. Braun Breaker goes for her Corona, but LA Knight counters into a powerbomb for a near fall. LA Knight lifts Braun Breaker, but Braun Breaker punch out. LA Knight punches back at him and goes for the BFT, but Braun Breaker rakes the eyes. Braun Breaker hits a double knee gutbuster before going to the corner, and LA Knight stumbles around Braun Breaker and cuts him in half with a spear for the win. The Braun Breaker defeats LA Knight in a gauntlet match. Alright, let's move on. Braun Breaker coming by Paul Heyman versus the main event, Jey Uso. Yeet. Braun Breaker gets up holding his ribs as a fresh Jey Uso shatters to the ring. Jey Uso starts pouncing away at Braun Breaker and hits a big right hand with some threat tricks. Jey Uso then clotheslines Braun Breaker over the top rope before hitting a suicide dive. Jey Uso gets in the ring and has his music starting playing before doing more yeeting. Isn't there a match going on with the question mark? Alright, so we go to commercial break. I don't know why there's music playing in the background. Jey Uso's music playing while the match is going on. So we go to commercial break. Back from the break, Jey Uso fights out of a superplex attempt and hits a diving crossbody block for a 2 count. Jey Uso hits a running back elbow, followed by a snap kick to the head. Jey Uso crushes him with a running hip attack to the face for a 2 count. Jey Uso goes to the top rope, but Braun Breaker cuts him off. Jey Uso fights him off, but Braun Breaker scales the ropes and hits a Frankensteiner 1-2. Jey Uso kicks out. Braun Breaker sets up for a spear, but Jey Uso hits him with a super kick. Jey Uso hits a second super kick before hitting a spear. 1-2, Braun Breaker kicks out. Jey Uso goes to the top rope, but Big Bronson Reed pulls him down before snapping him off the top rope. Braun Breaker quickly hits a spear to eliminate the former World Heavyweight Champion. Alright, Braun Breaker defeats the main event Jey Uso in a gauntlet match. So we get Braun Breaker coming by Paul Heyman and Big Bronson Reed versus CM Punk. Alright, this main event was good too. This is the final bout of the gauntlet match. Braun Breaker is holding his ribs in pain. CM Punk gets in the ring and attacks him before hitting a high knee in the corner and running bulldog. CM Punk clotheslines Braun Breaker over the top rope and takes off his jacket. I already knew that CM Punk was going to win that match, and I called it straight down the middle. Alright, so we go to commercial break. Alright, back from the break, CM Punk hits a side leg sweep for a 2 count. CM Punk whips him hard into the corner, and Braun Breaker falls to the canvas. The crowd loudly chants, "This is awesome." CM Punk connects with an inverted atomic drop before going to the top rope. Braun Breaker catches him attempting a diving accidental and hits a T-bone suplex. Braun Breaker shoulders CM Punk in the corner before hitting a running knee to the face. Braun Breaker mocks the CM Punk chants. Braun Breaker then mocks the clobbering taunt. Braun Breaker grabs the legs and hits a guillotine catapult into the bottom rope. Braun Breaker hits another T-bone suplex, and he slow the pace of this match down. Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed look pleased. Braun Breaker connects with a vertical suplex and says, "Easy." Braun Breaker covers for a 1 count. Braun Breaker applies a weird chin lock, but CM Punk fights up and elbows out. CM Punk goes for a go to sleep, but Braun Breaker slides off and hits a rib breaker for a 2 count. Braun Breaker continues to talk trash. Braun Breaker sends him to the opposite corner, but CM Punk boosts him back and goes to the second rope. Braun Breaker catches him with a Frankensteiner, but CM Punk rolls through and picks up a near fall. As CM Punk champ picks up, CM Punk wants Braun Breaker with their kick to the face and falls to the mat. Both men are down. They slowly get up and exchange right hands. Exhaustedly, CM Punk sends him into the ropes and hits a jumping calf kick. CM Punk follows up with a swinging neck breaker before hitting a running knee in the corner. CM Punk falls up with a short clothesline. CM Punk goes to the top rope, but Bronson Reed jumps onto the apron. CM Punk hits Bronson Reed away and hits Braun Breaker with a Macho Man elbow. 1-2, Braun Breaker kicks out, but CM Punk immediately transitions into an Anaconda Vice. Bronson Reed gets in the ring and breaks up the move with an elbow drop. Alright. Bronson Reed signals for the end, but Jey Uso runs down for the save. Jey Uso punches away at Bronson Reed and super kicks him out of the ring before hitting a suicide dive, and Braun Breaker in the ring. Braun Breaker signals for the end. CM Punk kicks him in the face as he attempts a spear. CM Punk hits the GTS and covers 1, 2, 3. CM Punk is going to SummerSlam. Alright. The winner by pinfall, CM Punk. This was a good gauntlet match. What it was. CM Punk celebrates and points to Gunther in a suit. And sweet. Gunther holds up his World Heavyweight Championship. Bronson Reed then avalanches CM Punk from behind and runs into fight Bronson Reed off. Jey Uso punches him against the ropes until Braun Breaker takes him down with a spear. Bronson Reed holds CM Punk up and Braun Breaker hits him with a spear. Paul Heyman stands on the apron and directs the traffic. They attack Jey Uso and CM Punk up. Bronson Reed heads to the top rope until Roman Reigns' music hits. The OTC Roman Reigns gets a huge ovation as he hits the ring and takes Bronson Reed out with a Superman punch. Roman Reigns takes Braun Breaker down and punches away at him. Bronson Reed pulls Roman Reigns off, but Roman Reigns lifts him for a massive Samoan drop. Roman Reigns takes Braun Breaker out with a Superman punch before sizing Bronson Reed up. Bronson Reed slowly gets up and stumbles around. Roman Reigns joins Bronson Reed with a massive spear. The crowd loudly chants OTC is Roman Reigns' first appearance since Raw after WrestleMania when he was attacked by Braun Breaker, who was joining forces with Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns tells his cousin Jey Uso to his feet. CM Punk looks over at Roman Reigns and he gets to his feet. The crowd is loudly singing Roman Reigns' name. This is an incredible reaction. In Birmingham, Roman Reigns points at Paul Heyman, who is in the SRA with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Braun Breaker looks terrified. Raw comes to an end at 10:35 p.m. Eastern Time. Alright. It says right here, really good gauntlet match that saw Braun Breaker run through a bunch of guys before being stopped at the end by CM Punk. If Seth Rollins is out for a while, Braun Breaker will need to step up earlier than expected unless there's a plan B. Hashtag WWE Raw. Alright. It says, huge surprise was Roman Reigns making his return for the first time since WWE Raw after WrestleMania. What a reaction Birmingham gave him. Birmingham isn't one of those towns. I think when it comes to electric crowd, but there were specular here love it. Alright. A good WWE Raw. Obviously, a lot of things are up in the air from a storyline perspective. So it had a wrestling heavy show as they give themselves time to reset. I'm not upset about that. I think it was the most wrestling we had on Raw since the move to Netflix, and WWE Raw goes up there. So if you guys enjoyed my WWE Raw review and highlights, make sure you guys please watch the video from all the way from the beginning all the way towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content I do on the channel, where I give you guys the full breakdown of my review and not to have my review. Like I said, go check out my AEW Arlen, Texas review and highlights, and go check out my WWE Evolution review and highlights as well. And I will go live tomorrow on Twitch for some WWE NXT Watch Along live and reactions. Have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. KFG crew, KFG Kings, KFG Club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang.